I just joined the Navy April 5th, 2011, and I'm going to share my Meps experience with all of you guys that are preparing to go to Meps and are curious about what the process is going to be like. I rode down the night before with my recruiter, and he checked me into the hotel near the Meps station, and I stayed with a roommate. We could pretty much do whatever we wanted to around the hotel that night, go to the gym, play pool. They had a pool outside. They didn't have an indoor pool, so we didn't get to swim or anything like that. You will have a curfew. We had to be back in our rooms by 10. They do feed you supper at the hotel, and they will also feed you breakfast the next morning. You'll have to get up bright and early. Our wake-up call was at about 4 o'clock the next morning. You have about 30 minutes to shower, get dressed, get to breakfast. You have about 30 minutes to eat your breakfast, and then be out front waiting for the bus to actually go to the Meps station. Once you get to the Meps station, somebody will come out to the bus and give you a briefing on who needs to go where, because you will be going to Meps with people that are fixing to enlist and people that are actually shipping to boot camp. And depending on what group you're in, depends on where you go and what you do. If you're going to enlist, you will get off the bus and line up at the front desk once you get inside the Meps station. They will then send you to your branch liaison, mine being the Navy. I went and sit outside the liaison's office for the Navy and waited my turn. They will eventually call all the recruits in, get their folders together and all their paperwork they're going to need for that day to go through all of the medical. Once you get that folder and all that paperwork, then they'll send you back out to the front desk, and they will take your picture and give you a name tag with a barcode and mark it so they know which branch you're going into, and if you're active or reserve and all that. Your ID badge that they give you pretty much identifies everything about you that they're going to need to know just by a glance for that day. After that, you will go down the hallway to the medical department. Once you get to the medical department, the first thing that they'll do is they'll sit you down and they'll take your blood pressure and your pulse and all that and make sure that all of that is okay. Once that checks out, they'll put on your chart that you passed that portion of the medical exam. After that, you will sit down in a waiting area and wait for a hearing test and a vision test. Once you do both of those and pass those, you will go on to the medical briefing. The medical briefing is where you will sit down in a room with everybody else that's there that day to enlist, and you will fill out a questionnaire of pretty much anything and everything that you could think of that you could have possibly had illness-wise, broken bones, sprains, anything like that, any kind of medication that you are taking or have ever taken, down to Tylenol. If you took a Tylenol 2 days ago, they want you to put it down on the paper. They will go over the do not lie policy about your medical, fraudulent enlistment, all that. Pretty much try to scare you into telling them anything and everything about your past, your medical past, your history, all that type of stuff. After all that's over with and you sign those papers, you'll take a breathalyzer. If you don't pass the breathalyzer, then they will DQ you for the day and you'll have to come back. On a side note, if you use Listerine mouthwash, do not use it the day that you go to Meps, because Listerine can throw a false positive on a breathalyzer test. I know that's crazy, but apparently it has a high alcohol content and can make it come back positive. So don't use Listerine. After the medical briefing is over with, you will then go and do the drug test and pregnancy test if you're a female. And for the guys, they actually do a protein test with your urine. So you'll do that. You'll go and sit in a stall, and somebody will be standing right in front of you watching you pee. So be prepared for that. If you're kind of shy, you have a problem with this, drink a lot of water. Lots and lots and lots of water. Because they only give you so long to try to go to the bathroom. After a certain point, if you still haven't been able to go, they will DQ you for the day until you come back. After you do that, then you will go into a room, males all in one room, females all in another room, and you will strip down to nothing but your underwear. At that point, they will make you do a bunch of what seems to be crazy exercises in your underwear. and the doctor will walk around and check your joints and your spine and everything to make sure that you don't have any abnormalities or problems that you haven't told them about. They'll also write down a description of all of the tattoos that you have on your body, any scars that you have, anything like that will be documented. After that, you will go in one by one and you will have an examination with the doctor. For females, you will have just your typical breast exam, not really a big deal. They'll look in your ears and they'll check your eyes, like your pupil dilation and that type of thing. They'll look at your throat. They do a quick peek to make sure that you are female, but it's nothing invasive or anything like that. They literally just peek under your little paper blanket, and that's the extent of that. They'll press on your stomach to make sure that there's nothing going on there, no abnormalities or anything like that. After that, they'll check off on your chart, and you're pretty much good to go. After that, you get dressed. You'll actually have to go and sit down and have a one-on-one meeting with the doctor with your file, and he'll go over some things with you, and then he'll sign off on your chart that you are either passing the medical and good to enlist, or you have failed the medical and are going to be DQ'd. If you pass the medical, then you will go back to the area where your branch liaison is, and you will sit and wait for them to call you into the office. Once they call you into the office, they will do any type of waivers that you need. Like me, myself, I had to have a waiver for a tattoo. I have a tattoo on the back of my neck that pretty much in the uniform policy says that I can't have it, period. But it was just low enough that I managed to get a waiver for it on the back of my neck. So it took about 2.5 hours just to get that waiver and get that finished. You'll do all your waivers and everything in there if you have any type of waivers that you have to get. You'll fill out the rest of your last minute preliminary paperwork. They'll get your contract and everything together, and you'll actually sign part of your military contract. After that, then you will go into another office and they will assign you a job. More than likely, they'll already have one picked for you that they think that you should take based on your qualification scores from your ASVAB. I took my ASVAB before I went to Meps. You can actually take it the night before you process at Meps if you haven't taken it already. My advice would be is to take it before you go, find out what your scores are, and if you're not happy with them, then you can wait and retake it instead of going to Meps and kind of being stuck with your score. After that, they pretty much have your job picked for you. You can say no, what else is there? Go through the list. What are you qualified for? What are you not? You're still not going to have just a whole lot of options. I mean, it's pretty much at this point, it's what's open is what you get to pick from. There's not a whole lot of jobs open right now. It's very competitive. The higher score on your ASVAB you make, the better chances you're going to have of getting a good job. After that, they will pull your preliminary background check, which is just basically to make sure that you don't have like any outstanding tickets, open court dates, or anything like that that just pretty much pop right up on the initial background. Once you get finished with that, then you'll go and you'll sit and you'll wait. If you haven't ate lunch by this point, you'll get some lunch. Depending on how quickly your day goes, you pretty much get to eat lunch whenever they tell you. I didn't get to eat until like 2 o'clock, but you know, no big deal. After all that's over with, you'll sit and you'll wait, or you can go get something to eat. And then when it comes time for you to swear in, you'll go and have to be fingerprinted and all that good stuff. After your fingerprinting and everything is over with, then you will go and you'll actually be sworn into the military. Once you swear in, then you will go into a room and electronically sign your formal contract. By electronically sign, you will sign it with your thumbprint and a picture. Your face will be at the bottom next to your thumbprint when you sign your contract. Once you do that, they'll probably have you go back to your liaison's office, at least the Navy did, and they'll give you like a little bag full of goodies or whatever, and they'll take your picture that you're a new recruit and send to your recruiting station so they can put it up or whatever they want to do with it. But that's pretty much it for Meps. It's really not that bad. Just kind of take a deep breath, go through the day. It's a long day. Be prepared to be there all day long because it really is an all day long process. Remember that the people there are not your friends. I mean, just in reality, they're not there to let you into the military. They're there to keep you out. So don't go up there thinking, oh, this is a doctor, I have this going on, I'm going to ask for a second opinion. You know, if you got something going on, then you need to see your doctor before you go. Tell your recruiter about it, get a waiver or whatever you need for it, but don't go down there thinking that, you know, hey, they're my friends, they're a doctor, I'm going to ask them what they think, because that will get you DQ'd. Like, straight up, right off the bat, disqualified. But just go up there, being prepared, get all your paperwork, and you'll be fine. It's really not that bad. If anybody has any questions or anything that they want to ask about the process that I didn't touch base on or anything like that, feel free to send me a message and I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can.